This meeting is designed for us to share experience, strength, and hope with one another and to listen to others do the same. Unless it's a critical matter that requires you to monitor your phone, please turn off your phone volume or put it on vibrate. If you need to answer a critical call, please do it outside. That's not to disrupt the meeting. Use your cell phones at meetings to text or scroll through social media or using any other electronic device gives the impression that you are not giving your full attention to the meeting and are disrespecting the speaker. Please turn off, put away all non-critical electronic devices now. Pre-apno of Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contribution. AA is not aligned with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and to help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. Please, somebody read how it works.
John.
Hey, John.
How it works in chapter 5 of the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous, pages 58 and 60. Rarely have we seen a person fail or stubbornly fall on their path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to the simple program, usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such, unfortunate, they not problem. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If we have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. And some of these we thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness of our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas and result in nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, passionate, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us, but there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandonment. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. Step 1, we admitted to the powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Step 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Step 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Step 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Step 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so with individuals or others. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles, in all our affairs. Many of us exclaim, "What an honor, I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. A description of the alcoholic, the chapter 2, the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. And C, that God could and would if He was sought.
Thank you. Can somebody read? Thanks, Sean. Somebody read the promises.
The promises of Alcoholics Anonymous. Hi, my name is Michael and I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Mike.
The promises of Alcoholics Anonymous. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises?
We think not.
They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
For the big book. Okay, thank you very much, man. That was beautiful. That was brilliant. All right, thanks, Mike. All right, so everyone please turn to page 561. This is the AA tradition. Let me know when you guys are ready to rock and roll. Thumbs up, we ready? Okay, let's go. All right, the AA tradition. To those now in its fold, Alcoholics Anonymous has made the difference between misery and sobriety, and often the difference between life and death. AA can, of course, mean just as much to uncounted alcoholics not yet reached. Therefore, no society of men and women ever had a more urgent need for continuous effectiveness and permanent unity. We alcoholics see that we must work together and hang together, else most of us will finally die alone. The 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous are, we AA believe, the best answers that our experience has yet given to those ever urgent questions. How can AA best function, and how can AA best stay whole and still and so survive? Pass, John.
Okay, on the next page, AA's 12 traditions are singing in a so-called short form, the form in general use today. This is a condensed version of the original long-form AA traditions that first printed in 46, because the long form was more explicit and a possible historic value, it is also reproduced. We don't read all of those. We go on now to page, page 5, 6, 7. Spiritual experience. I'm starting off at the top of the page. 5, 6, 7. Okay, the terms spiritual experience and spiritual awakening are used many times in this book, which, upon careful reading, shows that the personality change sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism has manifested itself among us in many different forms. Yet it is true that our first printing gave many readers the impression that these personality changes or religious experiences must be in the nature of sudden and spectacular upheavals. Happily, for everyone, this conclusion is erroneous. In the first few chapters, a number of sudden revolutionary changes are described. Though it was not our intention to create such an impression, many alcoholics have nevertheless concluded that in order to recover, they must acquire an immediate and overwhelming God consciousness, followed at once by a vast change in feeling and outlook.
Barry, alcoholic.
Hey, Barry.
Among our rapidly growing membership of thousands of alcoholics, such transformations, though frequent, are by no means the rule. Most of our experiences are what the psychologist William James calls the educational variety, because they develop slowly over a period of time. Quite often, friends of the newcomer are aware of the difference long before he is himself. He finally realizes that he has undergone a profound alteration in his reactions to life, and such a change could hardly have been brought about by himself alone. What often takes place in a few months could seldom have been accomplished by years of self-discipline. With few exceptions, our members find that they have tapped an unexpected inner source which they presently identify with their own conception of power greater than themselves. Most of us think this awareness of power greater than ourselves is the essence of spiritual experience. Our more religious members call it God consciousness. Most emphatically, we wish to say that any alcoholic capable of honestly facing his problems in the light of our experience can recover, provided he does not close his mind to all spiritual concepts. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. There is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof all arguments in which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. Yes.
Joe Alcohol.
Hey, Joe.
The medical view on AA. Since Dr. Silkworth's first endorsement of Alcohol Anonymous, medical societies and physicians throughout the world have set their approval upon us. Following our experts from the comments of doctors present at the annual meeting of the Medical Society of the State of New York, where a paper on AA was read. Dr. Foster Kennedy, neurologist. This organization of Alcohol Anonymous calls on two of the greatest reservoirs of powers known to man, religion and that instinct for association with one fellows, the herd instinct. I think our profession must appreciate the genius of this great therapeutic weapon. If we do not do so, we shall stand convicted of emotional sterility in having lost faith that moves mountains, without which medicine can do little. Dr. G. Kirby Collier, psychiatrist, I have felt that AA is a group unto themselves, and the best results can be had under their own guidance. As a result of this philosophy, any therapeutic philosophic procedure which can prove a recovery rate of 50% to 60% must merit our consideration. Pass.
Well, Michael Alcoholic.
Michael.
Dr. Henry M. Tybalt, psychiatrist. As a psychiatrist, I have thought a great deal about the relationship of my specialty to AA, and I have come to the conclusion that our particular function is very often lying in preparing the way for the patient to accept any sort of treatment or outside help. I now conceive the psychiatrist's job to be the task. of breaking down the patient's inner resistance so that which is inside him will flower, as under this activity of the AA program. Fast.
Jeremy Alcoholic Drug Addict,
Hey,
Dr. W.W. Bauer, broadcasting under the auspice of the American Medical Association in 1946 over the NBC network and in part Alcoholics Anonymous on No Crusaders. Not a temporary society, and know that they must never drink. They help others with similar problems. In this atmosphere, the alcoholic often overcomes the excessive concentration upon himself, needing to depend upon a high power and depend upon a higher power and absorb himself in the work of the other alcoholics. He remains sober day by day. The days add up into weeks, the weeks into months and years.
Leader of Dr. John S. Crossler, Chief Psychiatrist for the Deputy General. 7 years experience AA, said the alcoholic leadership here for the Deputy General, mostly those who cannot afford private treatment. and the ADA is by far the greatest thing we have been able to offer here. Even among those who occasionally land in here again, we observe a profound change in personality and would hardly recognize them. The American Psychiatric Association requested in 1949 that a paper be prepared by one of the older members of Alcoholics Anonymous to be read in the association's annual meeting of that year. This was done, and the paper was printed in the American Journal of Psychiatry for November 1949. This address is now available in the pamphlet form at Normal House, both the groups and Parks 459, Grand Central Station, New York. New York 10163, under the title Tree Talks to the Medical Society by Bill W. Family Cocktail and Alcoholism, and Area Alcoholism Illness Act.
The Lasker Award, 1951, the Lasker Award was given Alcoholics Anonymous. The citation reads in part as follows. The American Public Health Association presents a Lasker Group Award for 1951 to Alcoholics Anonymous in recognition of its unique and highly successful approach to that age-old public health and social problem, alcoholism. In emphasizing alcoholism as an illness, the social stigma associated with this condition is being blotted out. Historians may one day recognize Alcoholics Anonymous to have been a great venture in social pioneering, which forged a new instrument for social action, a new therapy based on the kinship of common suffering, one having a vast potential for the myriad of other ills of mankind.
Tom Alcoholic.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, religion view on AA. Virgin of practically every denomination have given AA the blessing. Edward Downing, SJ of the Queen's Work Staff, says, alcohol is natural. It is natural at the point where nature comes closest to the supernatural, namely in humiliations and in confluence, humility. There is something spiritual about an art museum or a symphony, and the Catholic Church approves of our use of them. There is something spiritual about AA too, and in Catholic participation in its almost invariable results in poor Catholics becoming better Catholics. The Episcopalian magazine, The Living Church, of Swords editorial, the basis of the technique that Alcoholics Anonymous is the truly Christian principle that man cannot help himself except by helping others. The AA plan is described by members themselves as self-assurance. The self-assurance has resulted in the restoration of physical, mental, and spiritual health and self-repeat to hundreds of men and women who would be hopelessly down and out with this unique but effective therapy. Yes.
Sure,
Joe.
speaking in the journal used by John D. Rockefeller Jr. to introduce alcohol. Anonymous and some of his friends, Dr. Harry Emerson Foster, remarked, I think that psychology speaking various forms of the transfer approach is being made in this movement that cannot be duplicated. And I suspect that if it is widely handled, and it seems to be wide and prudent hands, there are doors of opportunity ahead of this project that may surpass our capacity to imagine.
That's basically where we start in this book.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest is just information stuff. But we look to read that piece, it was written, it's so unbelievable, but that was everybody. All right, we have a collective, Rob.
All right, let's go.
Experience, strength, and hope with us.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh. I got you. Church in a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too often, but
Men's meeting. Where them bellies at? We outside.
All these few minutes, and oh my goodness, what the heck?
what the,
What the heck?
Mic check 1, 2. Are we recording? Good. All right. So, hi everyone. My name's Rob. I'm an alcoholic. All right. This is the term spiritual experience, the spiritual awakening. I gave my life to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ a long time ago. So it's just that I've been kind of like on the wagon, off the wagon, being a believer, being a follower, but not actually putting in the work that you supposed to say faith without work is dead. I've been battling with my faith for a long time. It's gotten more solid now, obviously, since I stopped drinking. And it's kind of funny how it works for me, because it's just that I was always someone who was a belief in God. But my actions never, it was a hard time having my actions line up to my beliefs. Especially as the more lost I got into my addiction, it was just like, you probably would think I worship the devil, But again, so it's just like all roads leads to Christ. When I was really, down and out, I was really like, on the verge of just, committing a homicide and all of that. I really, I prayed, I came to the Lord humbly, and I came to the Lord asking Him, I'll just do anything just to stop feeling this way, just to stop having this, this idea that, that the world revolves around me, that I need to seek vengeance, that everything's just about me, my feelings, not being accountable for anything, always having somebody else to blame, always having something else to blame. Take all of that away from me. And that's when basically my friend from high school reached out to me. And then it was just like we got into a conversation, and he told me that his father is a sponsor for alcoholics. And they're presented a challenge. I never been to an AA meeting before. I never been to a group of people that, or else I was court mandated. I mean, I have to voluntarily go where? But in order for me to change, I'm gonna have to do something that obviously I don't normally do. That's what it is. It comes with sacrifice. You can't just say you want to change and think that those are just words. You got to put that into some sort of action. So when I made that phone call, I met up with my sponsor. The rest is history. Went to my first meeting. Boring. Very boring. So that was a test. I believe that. That was a test. It was a test for me to see if I was going to make any excuses, to see if it was like, you know what, man, these people, they're bored the shit out of me. They bored the hell out of me. I gotta go to the liquor store after this, because these people are making me want to slip my wrist. You know what I mean? But I went to the second meeting, then I went to the third meeting, and then when the guy, one of the members of the group, he showed me an app that I could go to. And once I got that app, it's just been, I went to 270 meetings in 90 days. So I went to 3 meetings a day. You know, yeah, I was in Southie. You know, I came here, and then at night I went to a meeting in downtown, 3 days a week, and then I went to I went to 12 Steps meeting earlier in my recovery too. I didn't even tell my sponsor I did that because he wanted me to wait for like another 6 months to like a year till I get into 12 Steps meeting. But I was going to 12 Step meetings, right off the rip, pretty much within my first 2 months in recovery. So I made a choice that if I'm gonna really be serious about this, I gotta show that. I got to do that. I got to sacrifice everything, Sacrificing that one thing to gain everything as opposed to sacrificing everything to gain that one thing, Where it's just like before, I would sacrifice everything as long as I still had that bottle, as long as I still had that Coke, as long as I still had, what I call the basic necessities of my addict life. I was fine. If I didn't have those things, oh man, all hell was gonna break loose. So once I made the choice that I was gonna just sacrifice that, no more Coke, no more alcohol. Now I'm just like, holy shit, here I am, Have I changed? I've learned, When you come into something like this, you don't just automatically just change. It's a gradual process. You're learning, you're relearning, you're unlearning the bullshit the BS that you learned before, only to learn things that are more beneficial to you. And that's why I continuously come to these groups. I understand that it's a spiritual program. It's not necessarily religious, which is perfect, because I think that, religion, people could debate that all day, but finding the commonality, the common ground that brings us all together, which is alcoholism, and basing that off of a spiritual foundation, a universal spiritual foundation, is perfect, I've interacted with people in here from multiple different faiths. Some people who just don't have any faith at all, but they learning to adapt to the idea of confining in something greater than themselves in order for them to, overcome or just fight this thing we call alcoholism. It's amazing too, because it's just like spiritually, I'm more intact. Obviously, I got ways to go, but than I ever have been in my life. I have more empathy than I did before. I have slightly more patience, but I'm working on that part too. Because let's just face it, some people just get on your last damn nerves, but still at the end of the day, it's just like, I try as best as I possibly can to be what they call a God-fearing man. But that comes with a price as well. Sometimes you have to bite your tongue. Sometimes you have to, resist the temptation of responding to certain things. People, places, and things, right? That's what they say here. I had to change the type of people that I surround myself with. You know what I mean? I saw a guy actually yesterday that I had what they call it a street smoke that I had a beef with. And, it only takes an instant second to alter the course of your life. So when I saw him and he saw me and he said something, and I said something back, we were at a space whereas I could just walk away, and I chose that path. Now, if that was 817 days ago, no, we we will have to figure out who's got the bigger, but still at the end of the day, it's just like, I give credit to God for that. I give credit to AA for that. God and AA for all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like now, it's just like I have a sense of purpose of knowing that, like, no, I don't have to go down certain roads, and I won't go down certain roads. And it just felt good to understand that, I've come so far. Why would I confront this dude and go backwards just to prove whatever? You know what I mean? Because with men, we always gotta, always, that testosterone is something else. So it's just, it was good. It was a good feeling just walking away and just going about my day. And now I'm here. I'm hosting another meeting. I just got accepted to a program. I got a job. Yeah, it's a job training program. It's for cleaning services and whatnot. It's a 6-week program, 93. And after that, I'm sure that I'm gonna definitely have a job. So things are working out, for me in a way that I can't ever afford to go backwards, nor deny the fact that I can't take all the credit for it, because it's God and AA and the people in this room, that keeps me grounded and keeps me focused. I've met so many brilliant people here, and lost one woman here that we love so much. You remember her, Jane? Was her? That was her name, Jane? Janice? Yeah. Lots of quite a few people, not in these halls, but in other halls. But it's just that, man, the greatest feeling for me is I just chose life. I just chose life, and that's how I live every single day. It's like, I don't have to go to the liquor store. I don't have to drink anymore. I don't have to friggin' wake up with a hangover anymore. I don't have to worry about whether or not, oh my God, am I gonna see Judge Coffey today? Or Judge Baylor. That guy was you don't wanna be in front of his face, I tell you that shit, and it's just like, it's just the little things. Like today, my mom just, she called me, actually woke me up, because I'm on, woke me up. She goes, "Are you going to your meeting?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." She's like, "What are you waiting for?" I'm like, "Oh, shit." And I looked at the time, because I thought it was like 7:30. But the fact that she called me, said, "What are you doing? Come get the car." She would never say that shit 817 days ago. The only thing she, if she's like, "Yeah, come get a car." Yeah, you mean pray that I don't run you over with it? That type of thing. But now she's, giving me the car at pretty much any time, and just trusting me again. So it just changed. It's possible. You know what I mean? It's not just possible. It's probable. And spiritually, obviously I still got ways to go, but it goes to show you that as long as I keep coming, that's what we say here, just keep coming, just keep coming. That's a battling cry. It means it's the more that you keep coming to the meetings, the more work that you put in, it's going to be beneficial to you. You might not be where you want to be, but you're not going to be where you used to be. And that's and that's the testament to the program. That's a testament to you guys. You know what I mean? I thank every single one of y'all, and that's all I gotta say for now. Thank you. All right, and we're gonna thank you. All right, and so let's rock and roll, man. Let's talk about. From the spiritual. Go ahead, John.
I'll go ahead, start off. This reminds me of something we talked about your mother, but a lot of it wonderful to hear you today. And it's good to read this stuff. When people started reading, well, anyway, I learned to read all of that stuff. And some people say you don't need that. I've heard people say it's not a criticism. You don't need the first 164 pages of the book. sometimes I wanna say to them, why did they write the rest of it? You know, I guess that's judgmental. But anyway, the thing you reminded me of just now, when you said about your mom. Okay, I'm bouncing in and out of AA. My father came to pick me up at State Hospital, the Boston State Hospital. I had been strapped down on the Washingtonian. They shipped me to Boston State Hospital. I was getting out of there when he came to pick me up, and he said, come on, I'll drive you home. I said, drive me to Forest Hills. I gotta get a drink. And, you know, he didn't want to do it, but he did. And, I got out of the car, I said, give me some money, Dad, I need some money. He wouldn't give me any money to buy a drink, that's a drink. And I laced him with a number of profanities. I went into Slattery's and Forest Hills, and, you know, my brothers both drank there, so they knew me, you know, I get drunk anyway. And, I hated myself for that moment. You know? And, I continued to drink. And I was in, 72, and I got sober in 72 and got drunk again in 73. And, I was gonna have a beer, and I wound up drunk for a couple of months. But anyway, what you reminded me was, when you talked about your mom, fast forward, it's 1976, I had surgery, I forget which one it was, oh, I had my knee, I had surgery on my knee, and I'm in the hospital at the park. I mean, in those days, they always kept you overnight for anything, you know, now they like 20 minutes after it's done, but anyway, my father came to visit me after work, and we're talking, and he sits over the chair. My regular doctor came in to check me up, you know, to pop up, and he said, oh, Johnny, and he turned to my father, he said, Mr. Grady, he said, John's doing great, hasn't had a drink in 3 years. And anyway, let me just go back. I left my father that incident outside the bar room, crying his eyes out. You know, we had just, not too long before that, buried his wife, my mother, booze. And crying his eyes out, his youngest son. And so I looked, anyway, my doctor turns to Dr. Dow, he says, it's a great, John's doing great, 2 years without a drink, 2 years without a cigarette. And I looked at my father, and my father had tears in his eyes. My father was crying. They were happy tears. I was 3 years old when I quit smoking. I asked God one day on my knees, please God to help me quit smoking. And that night we had people over the house just before December, Friday the 13th, supposed to be a bad day, December of 1974. I asked God, I had asthma as a kid, and then, you know, it came back before, you know, back, well, I'm trying to press. But anyway, that night I got very sick, wound up in the hospital, and I accepted the fact that I was in the hospital and was free. Like 5 days before our first basketball game, I was coaching basketball. But anyway, I accepted it, and like 2 weeks later, I realized I hadn't had a cigarette. Since the day I got on my knees, begged God to help me quit smoking, I haven't had a cigarette. And that was in December 13th, 1974. But anyway, the thing about my dad, you know, I was always trying to make amends to him. Dad, I'm sorry. He says, hey, you're doing great, you know, but that was a living amends. When I saw him with the tears in his eyes, because I knew he was so happy. And his son was sober. 6 weeks later, and my father was still working 2 jobs. He played at the office 3 nights a week. He was an accountant for the state. And, you know, 65 years old, never had any real medical problems. And 6 weeks later, I walked into a meeting down in the South End, and a guy came up to me with no cell phone, but somehow the word got around the circle to my wife, anyway. And Colin and Alan, my friend, whose husband, went to this particular meeting. It's a Sunday morning, and the guy came up to me and said, John, I got something bad to tell you. I said, what? He said, his father's dead. My father died 6 weeks after that. Suddenly, I found him. My brother and I went over to his house, and I found him. He was in his easy chair. He died the day before. That was Halloween in 1876. The day before, he was sitting in his chair reading his newspaper, and that's how I found him on the chair. Still with the newspaper in his hands. Gone. And And so that was obviously a big shock. But what I realized was that that was his day to go, or a piss away to go. No pain, no suffering, no, big lengthy illnesses that people have, especially in those days with cancer.
No, sure.
People would get sick and they would just say, we can't help you.
Right.
Now they do remarkable stuff. But anyway, that stuff's all popping into my head. But I was so grateful that I had that moment where that doctor said that to my father, and my father had seen me so 6 weeks before that. And recognized that. So he reminded me of that. But also the other part of it, we come here and we read this book and we share with each other. But together, I guess I'll just wrap up this. Together, I found that together we can do what I can't do by myself. And that's stay sober and live a reasonably, quote, happy life. We can be happy. And that was a beautiful example you gave of seeing a guy and going, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't have to live like that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it, I'm a recovered macho shithead.
Ah!
You gotta be tough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And especially your relationship with God. I figured, Wendy here, I figured God's answer to me was no. I'm not helping you, you're a no good, bleep, 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 that's what I thought of myself. And I was okay with that, help those good people in there. Because after I came to it, started drinking over and over and over again. But no one ever said screw. They said keep coming. And I'm so grateful for those people. They're all in here after do it now. They're up there probably praying for me. Still. Anyway, granted, you did a great job there, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, John.
All right, John. Any burning desire?
I'm Barry, an alcoholic.
Hey, Barry.
This piece that we read today from the big book, I really felt really good about. There's a lot of endorsements in the back of this book from some very learned and scientifically based people. And they really take notice of, and appreciate the essence of the AA group and the fellowship that is involved in the group, the shared understanding of what we're all dealing with. And it's such an incredible feeling to come here and to sit with the people here. And I have a lot of close friends and relatives, very learned people, doctors, lawyers, professors. They don't understand what we understand here because we share something here that they don't, and they can't have the empathy or the bonding that's involved when you sit at a meeting like this and are able to talk freely and be supported by the other people in this room. And that's really what these guys are talking about. And they're pretty amazed at how strong the AA umbrella has been globally. I mean, you can go anywhere in the world and find a meeting, and you're welcome in that meeting, no matter whether your culture, your race, your gender identity, or anything else. You're welcome there because you share something with all those people. That's a very, very important lesson, and I'm glad you read that today.
Yeah, so, thank you. Chips?
Just a thought about what we read there. And all that happened, all those writings were done like 75 years ago. Imagine. Millions, there's millions now, hundreds of millions, I think. Okay, we have a customer giving out chips here. Excuse me, Valencia Sobriety. The first one we give out is 24 hours to 29 days to start now, just coming back. Anybody?
What do we do? We just keep coming.
How about 1 month?
What do we do?
We keep coming.
Keep coming. 2 months.
What do we do?
We keep coming.
Keep coming. 3 months.
What do we do?
We keep coming.
Keep coming. 6 months.
What do we do?
Keep coming.
Keep coming.
The last one we give out here is 9 months. Anybody 9 months today?
What do we do?
Just to show the program works, if you have a year or more, please raise your hand. you haven't had a drink or a substitute yet today, but it's early, give yourself and your head. Well, we'll read the daily reflections, we'll take a little break.
And we're back out of resume. That's it. September 16th, we stand or fall together. No society of men and women ever had a more urgent need for continuous effectiveness and permanent unity. We alcoholics see what we must work together and hang together, else most of us will finally die alone. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 561. Just as the 12 steps of AA are written in a specific sequence for a reason, so it is with the 12 traditions. The first step in the first tradition attempt to instill in me enough humility to allow me a chance at survival. Together, they are the basic foundation upon which the steps in tradition that follow are built. It is the process of ego deflation, which allows me to grow as an individual through steps and as a contribution member of a group through traditions. Full acceptance of the first tradition allows me to set aside personal ambitions, fears, and anger when they are in conflict with the common good. Permitting me to work with others for our moral survival. Without tradition, one, I stand little chance of maintaining the unity required to work with others effectively. And I also stand to lose remaining traditions, the fellowship, and my life. Thank you, brothers. Great. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Crazy.
Coincidence.